Hi, good morning. Welcome to my Wednesday devotional. I hope you guys are doing great wherever you're at. If you hear the fan noise in the background, that's because I got all the fans on. It's getting very humid and muggy out here in Maryland. So, so if you hear that, it sounds like an airplane noise in the background. That's just the fan. So, anyway, I hope you guys are doing great as we start to head into summer. We're at the end of spring. So I wanted to get Esther done before the summer. So what I'm doing is just doing 4 verses now. So I'm hoping that'll speed it up along, so that we'll have this done for summer so I can move to the next one, which I'm still thinking about. I have an idea, but we'll see. All right, so Esther chapter 8, verses 11 through 14. Those are today's verses. Now, yes, I've had these projects that are ongoing right now. I'm making a lot of changes in my career, so I keep having to erase my whiteboard because usually I just leave it up back here and my computer's over there and I work. But I need this for camera stuff, so I don't have the previous verses. But I think if you just recall that the king has finally got it all figured out. He's got Mordecai as his right-hand man, and Esther's right there listening to everything. And the king has realized, that Haman's a bad guy, and Haman's been, destroyed along with his family. And so now, how do they fix this problem? Because the decree already went out that Haman put out under the king's name. And so once the decree's out, that's it. There's no recalling the messages or deleting it or anything like that we do now. So what is the king doing about all this? All right. Verse 11, the king's decree gave the Jews in every city authority to unite to defend their lives. They were allowed to kill, slaughter, and annihilate anyone of any nationality or province who might attack them or their children and wives, to take the property of their enemies. All right, verse 12. The day chosen for this event throughout all the provinces of King Xerxes was March 7th of the next year. Verse 13. A copy of this decree was to be issued as law in every province and proclaimed to all peoples, so that the Jews would be ready to take revenge on their enemies on the appointed day. Verse 14. So urged on by the king's command, the messengers rode out swiftly on fast horses bred for the king's service. The same decree was also proclaimed in the fortress of Susa. Okay, so that's where the king lives, the palace king and Esther and everybody. All right, so what do we got here? So now the king's sending out a new decree to kind of overlap the one that Haman sent out, that authorizes the Jews to kill, slaughter, and annihilate anyone that might attack them, their children, their wives, or even try to take their property. So the king is just wiping that whole thing out and defending the Jews. Amazing. Okay, this is a guy who is drunk quite a bit, so it's amazing that he's sobered up, taking charge, and defending the Jews. That is just awesome. Okay, so the king's gone from here to there. Interesting how he's turned. And that's not really emphasized very much, All right, so the day is going to be, from March 7th next year. This part is about, March, April time. So a little less than a year to organize their defense forces for that Israel's trying to do, or the Jewish people, I should say. So this decree went out so that the Jews could be ready, to take on any enemy that might come and attack them. And the messengers rode out swiftly. This is the second time where the author is like, the horses rode swiftly. So it kind of makes you think, were the horses slow for everybody else? Or, what does that mean? So that's twice that they've said that. Rode swiftly on fast horses, bred for the king's service. They said that last time. So just mentioned it twice. Okay. Same decree was proclaimed in Susa. So that means Queen Esther and her people, whoever's inside that fortress, they can also defend themselves. Interesting. Luckily, Haman's already gone, so I don't think Queen Esther's going to have any enemies, or the king. But we don't know what the king's nationality is. They don't say. But so we're assuming he's not, but I think this is more when they say for the fortress of Susa, I think that's really just to protect Esther and Mordecai. You know, we don't know about anyone else. It could be other people. But at any rate, the Jews are protected in the entire land of King Xerxes. Yet, this is great news. So, like I said, you know, we've started the story of the setup and then the problem, and now we're back. We're kind of going down. We're gearing down to the solution. Oh, sorry, I'm off camera. I know I'm a little off today. So this is amazing. This story is like God is taking care of it. The Jews are going to be able to defend themselves. I mean, this is great, you know. So then you have to start, you know, asking yourself, where in your life has there been like a challenge and you just think, you know, there's just no hope. What are we going to do? And then events start to turn. You know, how does God take care of you? How has He shown up in your life to fix some things that were going wrong? That's the question I have for you today. I know I can think of a few things for me, and it always gives me hope, this story, that you can have a problem, and by the end of it, God's got the solution. So I hope you think about that this week. Like I said, as we're on the wind down, the wrap up, whatever, it goes to Esther 10, and this is a small paragraph. So we're rolling along here, but just amazing turn of events for Queen Esther, and more importantly, the Jewish people. So this is going to get interesting. So we'll have to see, do the Jewish people win? You know, what happens? All right, we'll find out. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you next time. All right, bye-bye.